Hello everyone, welcome back to the Python Crash Course. In the last part, we learned all about loops. Now we'll dive into how to control those loops using three powerful keywords: break, continue, and pass. By the end of this video, you'll know how to skip, exit, or handle loop logic like a pro, and you'll understand when to use each one. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification so you'll be aware of the next videos coming up. Let's dive into the video. The first thing that we need to have is having some simple loop. For example, let's say we got our for loop and we got our number right here, and we got this range to be from 1 to number 10. And if we simply print this number into our output and run our code, you can see we got printed numbers from 1 to number 9. But here we want to use break, which is a tool that we can use to exit a loop early. Break is used to immediately stop a loop when one of the loop conditions that we pass right here is true. So let's say here we want to break out of our loop when the number is 5. So for that, what we need to do is having our simple if statement right here. Then we want to check if the number equals to the 5, then we want to run our break right here. And by having this, it's going to start running from number 1, but because this condition is not going to be true, it's not going to come and run this line, which is our break, until this number reaches number 5. Then this condition is going to be true and it comes and breaks the loop for us. And if we run, you can see it comes until number 4 and then it stops because our break word runs right here. And pay attention, any code after that break inside the loop is not going to run. So it's 5, it breaks, and it's not come and print the number 5 again. So this break stops all of the loop just when that runs. And of course we can have the same thing with the while too. So let's comment this out for a moment and have our while loop right here. So we want to have this while true, for example. And let's say we want to have some input. For example, we want to have this variable of a, which we got this input, which has this type word right here. And then we're going to print that a simply into our console. And here, if we want to run our file right here, so because we got input, we cannot use this extension. We need to run that in our terminal. So we use this Python main.py. And if we run, you can see we got our input. For example, if we have this test, if we run, it runs, prints that for us, and again comes right here. And we can have anything that we want, and it's infinity loop and runs forever. But from the last part, you know that we need to wait to get out of our loop. And the way that we're going to do here is having our a checked for if a has the value of exit. And if it has that, we're going to break out of our loop. And this time, if we run again, we can have anything that we want right here. But as soon as we put this word of exit, it's going to go out of our loop. And this is the way that you can control your inputs and while loops using break. Now again, let's comment our while loop and come into our for loop. But this time, let's talk about the continue statement, which this skips the rest of the loop's code just for the current iteration and current time of running the loop. So the loop does not stop, it just jumps to the next round to run. What I mean is, here you can see if we run, it's going to run until number 4, and at the number 5, it's going to stop the loop. But if we have this continue right here, if we run, you can see it comes, but it skips the number 5 and runs 6, 7, 8, and 9 after that. Pay attention, when we got this continue, it seems like we don't have anything after this continue. So it just seems like this at the 5 iteration and when our number is 5. But for the rest of them, it's going to be still this print of number coming into our output. And of course, you can use that with the while loop too. For example, let's say we got again the last example, but this time we want if it's this word of pass, it continues and not printing that to console. So let's clear our console and run our file. We can have anything that we want, but as soon as we use this pass, it's not going to print anything for us and it's going to ask another word from us. And of course, you can use both of the continue and break together. So here, if we have this exit, it's going to break, and if we have this pass, it's going to continue. So if we run our program again, we can have anything that we want. If we have this pass, it's going to pass the printing for us. And if we have this exit, it's going to exit from our program. But as same as this continue that we got right here, we got another thing, which is statement of pass. And what this does is this statement is simply a placeholder statement and does nothing. Literally, it's a placeholder when you need a block of code syntactically but don't want to run anything. For example, let's say here we got pass instead of that break. If we clear our terminal and run our file again, if we have our test and then have our pass, if we run, you can see it got the word of pass, but this does nothing and still runs the rest of the code for you. And if we want to check in the for loop, so we come into the output, clear our output, and here if number is 5, we want to pass. And if we run, you can see this time we got this number 5 to pass. This is as same as we don't have anything right here, just like this. So if we run, it runs all the way from number 1 to number 9. But if we got this one right here, it means we want to do something when the number is 5, but we have not coded that part yet. For example, maybe we want to have our break, continue, or other things and functions coming up, but we haven't written that part yet. And instead of having it blank and causing an error, because if we have this empty, you can see we got some error, and if we run, we got some errors right here. So we use this pass to avoid syntax issues. And you can use this pass in the functions and classes too, which we're going to talk in the next parts. So at the end, this is the recap of this part that we got. We got our break, which exits the loop for us. Then we got our continue, which skip the current time of running and continue, and at last we got this pass, which is just a placeholder for avoiding syntax errors. Knowing when and how to control your loops make you much more flexible programmer, and by learning these, you just mastered how to stop, skip, and structure your loops in Python using break, continue, and pass. In the next part, we'll explore string manipulation, slicing, searching, and formatting text. So if this video was helpful, drop a like and subscribe for the next episodes coming up, and turn on the notification so you don't miss the rest of the crash course coming up. See you in the next one.